So some of the most recent, and I'd say like really high profile research that I've been able to pursue while at the University of Florida revolves around the exploration of these NASA Mars rovers. On the Curiosity rover, I'm the lead for an experiment that has the ability to look for sort of the organic carbon that life is made up of. We can actually search for that with an instrument on board this Curiosity rover. And so I've had the opportunity to help develop that experiment. We've performed it once on Mars, and even though it didn't give us evidence for life, it tells us an enormous amount about what is being delivered to Mars as far as organic carbon goes, because all life as we know it is made of organic carbon. The scientific questions that my lab pursues is asking questions about whether there's life beyond Earth. So with the Mars missions, we're interested in whether there was ever life on Mars, and could there be life on Mars today in the deep subsurface. The work that my lab has been doing is actually using what we call Mars analog environments. So going to places on Earth that can be used to approximate certain environments on Mars, collecting those samples and seeing how they perform with instruments that we have actually flown to Mars. So we use our lab-based instruments to get a feel for, if you had this rock on Mars, would you be able to say that life ever lived in it? And those are the kinds of comparisons that are so valuable to make on Earth, so that we know where to focus when we get to Mars. You know, you can only drive so far with a rover, you can only do so many experiments. And so it's so important to kind of prioritize where you're going to go and to base all of that on this analog research. So on Earth, I focus on how you can tell whether life was preserved in rocks in Mars and analog environments. And then once we're on Mars, when I'm working with the rovers, I'm looking at is there organic carbon preserved in those rocks? Are the key chemical ingredients for life preserved in those rocks? Would that have been a place where, if there was life on Mars, could it have lived there?